I decided to go on a little solo trip to Luxembourg to celebrate the end of my 12-week year. There was no planning involved. I just walked around, stumbled upon some little shops, lots of buildings, viewing points, and just overall beautiful surroundings. I did some reflections while eating delicious food, and I stepped severely out of my comfort zone, filming and talking in public. I got out of my discomfort, which is very good. Next to that, I did some exploring outside of the city as well, and stumbled upon this little place. Welcome to week 4 of my weight loss and self-improvement series, a journey that focuses on long-term change. Now this week is a little bit different than usual. Normally I would have strategies for the entire week, but now I've split it into regular strategies from Monday to Thursday and alternative strategies from Friday till Monday. Let's get over them, shall we? Starting with the first strategy, eating between 1,500 and 2,000 calories. I am very glad that I bumped it up to 2,000. My cravings were through the roof and I had quite some calorie-dense meals. I tried to minimalize it, which I luckily did. I stayed around the 1900, 1950, so I was happy with that. Because if I did not had a restriction on my calories, I could have easily eaten 3,000 or 3,500 calories. So this one, even though the cravings were through the roof, went very good. That being said, the second strategy, 300 grams of vegetables every day, went good as well. I even had days that I ate more than that. Although I had one day that I had to actively remind myself, but once I did, it was good. Unlike the third one, eating 22 grams of fiber each day. I don't know what it is, but I usually tend to eat a little bit of the same things. And apparently they are not very fiber rich. Only raspberries and mini carrots, which is something that I eat regularly. If one of those falls off, especially the raspberries, then I find it quite difficult to get enough fiber in the day. Then the fourth strategy, walking 9,000 steps a day. Now I was very surprised that I missed the mark by 2 days because I had longer walks than usual. On those days that I missed the mark, I walked 8,500 steps, which is not bad, but it's not 9,000. So apparently I was very inactive throughout the day. In the evening I went for a very long walk, and that was not enough. Now I can hear you think, why didn't you walk those extra 500 steps then? It's only 500 steps, I know. Thing is that I do my walks in the evening. And I did them quite late in the evening, so it was very close to my bedtime. And I had to make a decision, which one am I going to fail? The 9,000 steps or being in bed by 10 p.m. with everything turned off? And since I already walked the 8,500 steps, I thought, okay, it's good. It's not the 9,000, but you still walked quite a bit. Just keep it that way and don't let the other one suffer. The fifth strategy, saying no to things that distract me too much. This one I really struggled with. I got distracted way too easily. My focus was nowhere to be found this week. My head was intensely chaotic, more than it usually is. It felt like Extinction Rebellion was in my head, exploding cans of paint, thinking that it was a museum instead of my brain. And my brain also felt very foggy. I think something that I should have done but did not do is to search for methods that could help me with the distractions, could help me have better focus and to be less chaotic in my head. The sixth strategy, treating the choices that I make in a day as votes casted for or against me. Now, despite how this week was going, I casted more votes for me than against me. The difference in points was not that big. One day there was only a 1-point difference, but nonetheless, it's still more for me than against me. So I am still progressing, I'm not plateauing, and I am not falling back. The seventh strategy was to do something different than I usually do at least 2 times this week. It's very easy to stay in our comfort zone, to do what we always done all the time, not to try new things, not to discover things. You don't have to make drastic changes or do major things like moving to another city or to another country or something like that. It could be as easy as You are cooking a meal the same way you always do, but instead of using paprika, you will use mushrooms, or you will add mushrooms. Maybe it's a chef's kiss. Maybe it is the worst thing you've ever tasted in your life, but just try it out. You may never know. So the things that I did differently this week were walking a completely different route than I normally would, and going on vacation without any plans. Normally I would plan out my days. What can I do in the area? Do I have to make a reservation here? Do I have to make a reservation there? What are some touristic places? What are some less touristic places that are not very known but are beautiful? And make a planning at least for my vacation or for my trip, and I did not do that this week. I think if I did, I would not stumble upon the place where I am right now, which I think is a very beautiful place. And there is literally nobody here. I have not seen a single soul here, and I've been here in total for 3 hours. I made it very simple with only 2 strategies. 1, explore new things. 2, have a good time. Now, believe it or not, I did not have a good time every single day. Let me explain. So on the Friday when I was driving to Luxembourg, that morning already started very chaotic. I was very forgetful. I think I walked from my car to the house and back and forth a minimum of 12 times because I kept forgetting things. Once on the road, everything was okay. I do not like driving through Germany though. I like it because there's no speed limit, but I do not like it because there is no speed limit. Multiple times that I almost had an accident, I lost things like my debit card. I arrived at the Airbnb, some things were not good. It was fixed. It's a good Airbnb, but the beginning was a bit rocky. So that day was just, ugh. But then when my vacation actually started on Saturday, that was very nice. And of course, I explored new things. These strategies for week 5 are going to be a little bit different as well. And that's because next week is my 13th week. I will have a big reflection. I have to figure out what I want to do for the next year, what are my goals going to be, and how do I want to end this year strongly. Let's get over them. For categories food and movement, I will not change anything, so they will be the same as last week. For habit building and behavior change, write in detail how the best version of myself looks like and formulate new goals for the upcoming year and make a planning for the entire 12 weeks. And for mental health and sleep, try out methods that could help me focus better and wake up at 5:30 a.m. every day. I will see you next week. Bye. Oh, I am exhausted.